Never, ever, ever assume that you can't do something just because you weren't born to do something, all right? I look like this now. I have my dream physique. I got some pretty big arms, but it wasn't always like this. And I'll even add a picture to show you exactly where I came from. I used to be a skinny kid. I used to look like this, yeah? I was 40 pounds lighter, and that used to be my reality for my entire life. I surely wasn't born looking like this. I wasn't meant to be looking like this. I wasn't intended to be looking like this. I actually was intended to look skinny and to stay skinny because everything in my environment was there strategically built for me to stay that way, but I just couldn't bear it anymore at some point and I had to change. But in today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to do that without having a father figure that teaches you confidence, that tells you how to gain weight, that tells you to go work out, without having all of that, because I never had that. I mean, I've had a father all my life, but I never had a father figure in my life. And for me, it was just critical and crucial to figure everything out myself. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video, because I'm just going to give you a bit of this big brother advice that I wish someone would have gave me back when I was still in high school and we were in sports class and people weren't picking me first. You know, I was one of the last picked guys when we were in sports class. Not because I was not liked. I mean, I was somewhat decently liked, but I just wasn't, oh damn, my dogs, but I just wasn't good enough in sports because I used to be that skinny kid. I used to be overlooked. Nobody would pass me a ball. Nothing really, yeah, there wasn't anything good about me when it came to sports class. And for that reason, sorry for my dogs barking, but you'll excuse that. For that reason, when it came to sports class, even though I loved playing sports because, well, I was athletic technically, even though I was skinny, I was still athletic. I was pretty fast. I enjoyed it. But people didn't see that in me because people only saw the external fucking Valle. My name's Valle. The external person that is skinny, that doesn't have confidence, that, well, if I'm going to throw the ball to him, then most likely he's not going to catch the ball, or he's not going to throw the ball back correctly, or he's not going to throw the ball back with enough force to actually get something done, to actually score us a point. And they were true. I mean, as bad as it sounds, they're completely right. And I probably would have done the exact same thing if I were someone in high school who was jacked, who was shredded, who was athletic, really athletic, who could have done all these great things. Hey, psst, psst, psst. My dog starts digging a hole right in front of me. That's crazy. All right, so yeah, I probably would have done the exact same thing. You can't judge these type of people in high school or anything because it just makes sense. You want your team to win, and I just was never one of those people who would have gotten your team to win, and that's one of the reasons why I, and most likely you also, have experienced being picked last or being picked one of the last in sports class. And I mean, that truly shows you something about yourself. If people just don't assume you have it in you, you know? Everyone wants to get picked first in sports class. But it was only till the later stages of high school where then I was picked first. Because then I started developing myself. Then I started, you know, getting in shape, actually doing all the things. But I never had a dad tell me that. I never had a dad to teach me, come, all right, this is how you bulk. This is how you properly bulk. This is how you gain some weight. Let's go to the gym together. All right, let's play some sports together. Let's get you more athletic. Let's get you more in shape. Let's get you this and this. I never had a dad teach me how to tie a tie. I never had a dad teach me how to fucking shave my beard. I never had any of that. I just had to figure it out myself. My dad is a hardworking man. He earns decent money. He's a lawyer. He earns decent money. But he was just too hardworking to be there for me or my brother, to show us things that a dad should have, taught a child, his son. And for that reason, my development was so much slower than the development of other kids. And I'm really sure that you watching this video right now can relate to this, because not everyone nowadays has that. And I feel like it's this father figure is starting to get lost more and more, hence why people like these influencers like me right now speaking to you, or Hamza, or the Bold Kickboxer, and all these people are blowing up on social media. It just makes sense, because those are the type of people that, teach you how to go through life, how to navigate your struggles, because your dad technically should have told you that, but I mean, he didn't. And you as a young man, or you as a man who just hasn't been taught that, doesn't matter if you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 40, if nobody taught you that, you just have a gap that needs to be filled, and you will intrinsically be looking for that to be filled. And that's why we look up to people on the internet, even though we could be looking up to our fathers. Yeah, I mean, that's a deep topic, but it's a real topic. I had to figure everything out myself, and I was looking up to influencers to fill that gap. And eventually I figured everything out, but it took me a long time. It could have been a lot shorter. I still don't know how to fix a car. I don't know. I don't know. Nobody taught me that. I can probably figure it out with some YouTube tutorials. But yeah, I mean, let's just tie this back into fitness, because I'm obviously a fitness influencer. But even with that, I never had a dad teach me how to properly clean bulk, that I'm not just going to gain fat. Because if you right now think, oh, I need to gain weight because I'm a skinny guy, if you just bulk the way you search it up on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, how to bulk, how to gain muscle fast, how to get jacked quick, you are going to end up being skinny fat, because they're going to tell you to go on a huge bulk. And if you don't know what a bulk is, it's just gaining a lot of weight in a short time. Then, a dirty bulk. Then you're just going to end up being skinny fat. Your arm's not going to grow, but your belly is going to grow. You're going to store a lot of fat on your belly, but not really anything on your arms or on your chest or on any other places that you actually want to have muscle, where you actually want to gain the size. You're just going to store it on your belly, on your legs, and you're just not going to look great. You're going to look even less athletic than you did when you were skinny. So for that reason, you need to figure out a way to clean bulk, to not just gain weight this rapidly fast, but take it slow, because we're not trying to gain fat. We're actually trying to gain muscle, because fat doesn't look good. Yes, you're going to technically have a win every single time you step on the scale and you see the number went up. Oh yeah, I'm 5 pounds heavier already. Yeah, but I mean, if you look in the mirror, you're not really looking any better. Now you're skinny on the arms, but you've got fat on your belly. Wow, your scale weight went up. I mean, if that satisfies you, then sure. But that shouldn't be the end all be all. You should want to get in shape. You should want to get some better arms. You should want to get abs. You should want to get a bigger chest, a well-developed back, have some lats. That's what you should want to aim towards. And you can only do that with lean bulking. I mean, you can also do that with dirty bulking, but you are inevitably going to end up looking fat if you dirty bulk. So I myself have made that mistake, which is why I'm talking to you about this so passionately, because I used to dirty bulk. I gained 40 pounds in just one winter. I ended up getting a bit of fat, yeah. What can I say? It wasn't the smartest idea. And then I had to go and lose all that weight for, You know, I gained muscle because I was training actively while doing that. That's something you right now need to implement. I don't care if it's calisthenics, I don't care if it's weightlifting, if it's going to the gym, if it's just starting out in your room doing push-ups, if you have a pull-up bar somewhere, do pull-ups. I don't care what it is. Start doing some exercise, some physical exercise. You need to do that. No playing football, playing soccer, playing whatever sport, tennis, it's not going to cut it. You're not going to have a frame that other people will respect, because that's what we're trying to get. You know, we have that internal void. I don't care if you say it's shallow or if it's superficial, but we are someone who was overlooked for their entire life. We want to get some respect. Obviously, we do. And how do we get respect? Well, it's by building our frame. It's by looking muscular. It's by widening our frame, you know, becoming more of someone. Because we, for all our life, were pretty much invisible, you know. Girls weren't looking at us. People weren't looking at us. When we spoke, people started interrupting us. Like when we spoke in a group setting, did people really pay attention to us? I can tell you from my experience, they didn't. And if you are honest with yourself, they didn't pay attention to you as well. When somebody else started speaking, even though you were speaking, people were shifting their attention to the next guy that's speaking. Because your words, even if they might be more intellectual and might be more smart, they didn't hold the same value that the words of someone who was more jacked, more muscular, more good looking held. And yes, that's superficial, but that's the world we're living in today. And you can either hate the game or and say it's just not worth playing this shit, or accept that that's how the game is rigged, that's how the game is supposed to be played, and then adapt to it and do your best to, you know, have a good gaming experience. Yeah, I love those fucking gaming examples, because I used to be a huge gamer. Because there wasn't really anything waiting for me in the real world. So eventually I started going down in the gaming rabbit hole. I started playing 12 hours a day consistently, you know, just probably something that happened to you as well, if you're being honest. Yeah, most skinny people at some point end up being gaming addicts. But yeah, I overcame that. Eventually I started going to the gym, and I realized that, you know, maybe it's smarter to level up your IRL character than your gaming character, because, well, you can't really carry your video game character with you. You can't really carry your level 99 stats on fucking Valorant, whatever game you were playing, with you. You can't really do that, can you? But you can always carry around the video game character IRL that you've built, you know, your muscles, your mindset, your looks, your facial looks, your body. You can carry that around with you. And as dumb as this might sound, you can carry your aura with you, because that truly does build aura. You know, you have this energy when you enter a room, when you are someone who is worthy of respect. But you have to build that first, because you and me, we weren't born as people who deserve respect. And somehow that is also something beautiful about being a man. Because, well, let's just be honest. As a man, you were born without any value. And your value can be built, though. Your value can be built through the achievements that you gather in your life, through all the things that you can accomplish. That's how you can build your value. You start from 0 and you can get to 100, and that you can build throughout your lifespan. You can either stay at fucking 30 value, because you never really improved on anything. You never really went on self-improvement. You never really improved your body, your looks, your confidence, your mindset, your discipline. You never really improved on any of these things. Your money, or whatever you want to count into that, you know. If you never really improve that, well, then eventually when you're 25 years old, maybe your value is at 30 from 100. But someone who actually goes through all those struggles, maybe he's 25 years old and his value is at 70. And that's beautiful, because that shows you that your effort does pay off. Because not everyone's willing to go and sit down, watch this YouTube video right now, where I speak to you without edits, without cuts, without anything here, just real, raw and authentic advice, you know? Not everyone's willing to go through that. Not everyone's willing to go and develop himself. And you doing that right now shows you and shows me that you are willing to do that, you know? You are improving yourself. You're actively trying to reach out. Maybe you've not, you know, started really doing anything, but that right now is starting to do something. That right now is reaching out. That right now should show you that you are capable of more, that you are striving for more, even if you don't realize it. Because I can tell you, I wasn't born a winner. I wasn't born with someone who said, all right, I have this tournament right now, and I'm going in and I know I'm going to win because I only win. I never had that. I wasn't born a winner, you know? And that, for some reason, you know, some people, they are like that. You hear this all the time when you look through these highlight reels of these NBA players or whatever. That wasn't me, ever, you know? They're all like, yeah, I mean, I came in here to win. I won it exactly how I expected it. I was never like that, you know? I wasn't like that, but I'm like that now because I know who I am. And how do I know who I am? By just giving myself relentless amounts of proof that I am who I say I am. I tell myself, oh, I want to be more like this guy, or I want to be more like that guy that makes a lot of money online. Then what do I have to do? Well, improve my content, put out more content, do more, you know? And me giving myself that proof shows me that I am who I say I am. I am becoming who I say I am. I always wanted to be one of the guys that demands respect from other people by just entering a room. Well, what did I have to do? Well, I had to build muscle. I had to build my mindset. I had to build my intellect. I had to build my confidence. I built all these things. It took me years. I'm not saying there's a quick fix. There isn't. There really isn't. It takes years to build all of that. But eventually, after you build all of that, you are that person. And you have that much proof that you are who you say you are, then other people have no choice but to see that. Hey, psst, stop digging holes. My dog, sorry. Then other people have no choice but to see that and admit that you are truly a person worthy of respect. And that's beautiful about this game of life. Yeah, so my advice to end this video, you right now are skinny. And I also was skinny. The best thing that you can do right now is start going on a clean bulk. A clean bulk is where you just go a bit over your maintenance calories. So you just start eating 200-300 calories more than you technically ate all your life. So you start gaining weight little by little. And whilst doing that, you start incorporating exercise. I don't care if it's the gym, if it's calisthenics, if it's just in your room doing home workouts. I don't care what it is. Start doing that. And in 2 to 3 months, I can guarantee you when you look in the mirror, you will have seen some significant results. It does happen that fast, but don't be discouraged if you look in the mirror and you don't look like me yet, because it took me years. It took me 2.5 years to go from skinny to now looking like this, you know, now looking shredded. I can show you a picture of me, of how I look right now. Here, this is how I look right now. It took me 2.5 years to get here. So don't be discouraged when you don't just instantly look like this. It'll take some time, but that's all right. That's how the game is supposed to be played. That's why it's worth something. Because if it were just easy and everyone could just have it, let's just say everyone could have abs, then it wouldn't be worth anything. If everyone could just snap his finger and say, all right, today, customer character customization, today I'm gonna have abs, then it wouldn't be anything special. It's only special, it's only looked up to, it's only admired because it's hard to get, because people know how hard it is to get abs. I've seen this study, not this study, I've seen this, I don't care what you think, I don't know what you call it. I've seen this, yeah, let's just call it a study. I've seen this study that said in America, only 2% of people have abs. All right, so that alone should tell you exactly why you should get in shape. Because if only 2% of the population in America has abs, visible abs, then you can get to fucking level 50 so easy by just getting abs. You know, you can get ahead of so many people by just getting in shape. It is so rare, and people's perception has been so messed up with social media. But get back into reality, look around yourself, and actually see how many people in your day-to-day life you find having abs, you find having big arms, you find being really in shape. And you'll figure out it's practically no one, but you can be that person. And don't be discouraged if it doesn't happen within 2 to 3 months. Maybe it takes 5 months, maybe it takes 6 months, maybe it takes a year or even 2. But in 2 years, you're gonna be glad that you started on that journey, that you did all of those hard things that, you know, most people just aren't willing to do. Just putting it simply, most people aren't willing to do that, but you will be. Guys, I love this. We should do this more often. Just real, raw, and authentic advice. If you wanna have some personalized coaching from me, because I'm a fitness coach, on how to go from skinny to shredded, how to make that same change I made, then you can go click the first link down in the video description and book a free one-to-one call with me where we can discuss any questions you might have, and I can sign you onto my program, The Limitless Blueprint. I've had great results with my clients so far. I can show you a before and after here. If you want that as well, then click the first link down in the video description, and I'll end this video with the same words as always. Don't compare, be compared to. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.